the Lakers have opened the season pretty hot without LeBron. So let's talk about what should the Lakers do with LeBron when it's time for him to come back.
I think they need to keep him, and not only do I think they need to keep him, I think they need him. This team is the guards have been playing really well. Luka's been on fire. Austin Reeves has been on fire. But Los Angeles has really only beaten two contenders. They've been the same team. They beat Minnesota twice. I would like to see them play better competition before saying, well, they don't need Braun. But I think more than anything, it's just when he's on the floor, I think he has that passing ability. He can distribute. He can get players looks that when defenses go to Reeves and go to Luka and they try to clamp down on them, I think he just opens it up, especially on transition. So the thing is weird with the future. I get it. It's Luka's team now, but unless they're getting something that is, an offer that blows them away, I don't see why you would ship him.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I kind of think they should just be patient and figure out exactly what LeBron wants. Like, does LeBron want to be there? Now, there's questions of that with how, his demeanor, people have been reading into how he looks on the bench. Is he happy? If he wants to go, then I think you have those conversations with LeBron and figure out what the best situation is. What can you even get for LeBron at this stage in his career? But if he wants to be there, just let him get healthy and see what he can add to this team. I think at this point in his career, he's just complimentary to what you have going on right now, which looks pretty good. It looks a lot better than I think any of us thought the Lakers would be so far this year, especially without LeBron. Austin Reeves looks like an all-star. Luka's still Luka. Some of these other players there, they're looking like real pieces to help. And so you throw LeBron into the mix, I don't think that can do anything but help what you have going on. You're probably still not a title contender, in my opinion. Like Lorenzo said, they haven't really beaten anyone. I think one of those wins over the Wolves even came without Anthony Edwards. Looking at all of the teams that they've played so far, the only teams with winning records today, they lost to both of those teams. So I think the Lakers need to pump the brakes. You're not where you think you are yet. LeBron can help you.
Nah, get rid of him. And it's more so because everything looks good right now. Now, I don't think this team is a finals contender. I don't think they're going to win the West. But what you got with Luka and AR, just let it rock for the whole season. Try to get something of value for LeBron at the trade deadline. See what team is hungry enough to trade for him. Is Cleveland looking at their roster like, you know what, we're not going to pull the same team in. Let's try to get him. Is a team out west like the Warriors like, you know what, maybe we can go all in on this year. Let's finally let Braun and Steph play together. But to me, the vibes are high. Bronny James just scored his first points on an alley. Hey, his trade value up. Get him and dad out of there. Because what are you going to do? You going to take the ball out of Luka's hands, or are you going to make AR be a complimentary player where he's looking like a star? Have these two be the face of your franchise moving forward, and no, like, you don't have LeBron tied down to you next year. Just get some for him, cut losses with him. Don't think he'll get a statue, but it's like, hey, we're part of your story. It just didn't end the right way.
What's the value of a championship, though? Because, like, LeBron picked LA. He didn't have to come and save this, franchise that everyone knows is a historic franchise. We know what they've done in the past. But if he never comes there, what are the Lakers today over the last, few years since LeBron has been there? Like, I feel like he's earned the right to kind of ride this thing out how he wants.
A, a championship is vital, but, like, it's also looked at as the most Mickey Mouse championship from people. So to me, it's like, yeah, they got him a championship, but does that put him up there with a Kobe, with Magic, with Shaq, with Kareem? Probably not. And also, too, they've had some of, like, the worst losses. Like, they got smoked last year by the Timberwolves. Like, LeBron's last images, yeah, you got beat by Anthony Edwards in the first round. The year before that, you losing to the Nuggets. I don't know if a championship in 2020 is really going to hold weight in 2025.
I think the biggest problem though here is that salary because he opted in. It's only 1 year, which expiring deals like that can become attractive for other teams looking to add a piece like that. But it's at $52 million. That's a lot. That's going to take a lot of movement behind the scenes. You probably need a third team. Granted, it's LeBron James. It's the NBA. Teams figure this stuff out by and large. But again, it's got to be. If I'm the Lakers and I am going to ship him, I want to make sure that whatever I'm getting back either puts me in competition with Houston, with Golden State, with the Thunder, or sets me up for the future. And I just don't know that other teams out there are going to be that desperate enough to unload an asset like that.
Then
I
something
think
else to keep in mind: the Lakers are also I would assume, trying to keep cap space open for next year's free agency class. So you don't want to take back salary that's going to extend beyond the 2025 season. So they might just want to let LeBron expire and move on from there.
I think if you could get something for him at the deadline, you do it. You look at New York, just say, hey, which one of those wings you willing to part with? Or even Cat, to give yourself a chance. Probably won't happen. Or you look at the East, look at the West and say, hey, Kaminga looking good. We can use an athletic wing like that here in LA for the next 4 or 5 years. Or you look at another team and just say, hey, you just give us something. Give us a draft pick. Give us a player. Let's figure out the contracts. Let's make it happen.
Kaminga did light them up that season opener too. He looked pretty nice against them in LA.
Hey man, audition yourself because you getting traded, brother. All right, next up, let's look at another disgruntled star in Ja. What should the Memphis Grizzlies do with him? They suspended him for a game. Should they look to move on for him, or should they try to work things out with Ja?
Look, I'm in the minority here, I think, but I would like to see them work it out. And that really comes down to Ja. Does he want to be there? The way he was talking about the coach, maybe it is a situation where it's unsalvageable and you just have to part ways. But if Ja wants to stay in Memphis and it comes down to the coach and the player, for me, I'm always going to pick the player, especially when we're talking about a guy who's an all-star at the top of his game. He's someone who's proven he can get you to the playoffs when he's healthy, he's on the floor with the right pieces around him. Now, do I think Ja can be the best player on the championship team? No, I do not. So Memphis still has some building to do from here. I'm also not sure he can be the face of a franchise either, even if he was good enough. Like, he clearly has some, personality things that he needs to work on to become that player and to grow. And he's still young. I think he still has time to become that. But I think Memphis, if possible, should continue trying to build this thing up with Ja as one of the pieces on the team that can eventually get you to where you want to go.
Man, in theory I agree with that, but I feel like it has gotten so messy there, and we're not in the building, so we don't know exactly what it's looking like. But that that post game press conference was like double middle fingers to the coaching staff, public. Like that was ugly. And it's like when like when you're in a situation. I'm not even talking about Ja specifically. I'm saying like all of us or just anyone. When you're in a situation and you just want to get out of there, and it's like so beyond saving, whether like that's a personal relationship or like a job or something. I don't care what happens. There just comes a certain point where like too much is too much, and there's no. It's hard to salvage that. I think the first step would be what Prince is saying. See if it can happen, but pretty quickly, I think you'll know. Like this, he's been in the league what, like 6 7 years now. He's 26 years old. Memphis knows what they have in him for the most part. They This might just be the end of the road, and I think he might really need a change of scenery. Where I think what would do him best would be a strong veteran locker room somewhere where they can take pressure off of him and not have him be so much of the vocal leader, but be more of like a star on the court, but somebody who can kind of like, you know, not be that face of the franchise. I would love to see him in Minnesota because I think the Timberwolves do need a point guard, and that ball sometimes on offense can stagnate, and it's just like a lot of ISO ball between Randall and Edwards. The problem there is Minnesota loves to play defense, and I don't know that Ja is the most. I don't know that he gives the best effort on defense. He can when he wants to, but man, with John and there in that backcourt, that'd be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm with you, Lorenzo. I think it's time for a fresh start for him. Like, clearly, I'm the guy that just wants players to lead their teams. But to me, you had the gun incident, and then you have the incident at the end of the year where it just doesn't mesh with the offense, what he wants to do, what they're trying to do. And you look at a lot of pieces that they lost. Baines, you lose a guy that we now looking at like maybe had some sort of a voice in the locker room to help with Ja, but like right now, you're getting suspended for a game. To me, if he doesn't come back with the right head, it may be time to just let him go. And I think as crazy as the scenario is, I would love to see him in Sacramento. They're a team that lost their point guard in Fox, who can do a lot of stuff that Ja can do. You have Sabonis. You have some young wings that you can trade for him, possibly to get him on. And then they got veterans there who can kind of help him learn the game and learn the business. You got Westbrook there. You got DeMar there. Like these are guys who are at the tail end of their careers, but are also guys who have been in the spotlight at times So to me, I like to see him gone from Memphis, just a fresh start for him, for the organization, a chance to like really look at themselves. We got Triple J. Do we want to get him gone? Do we want to just start over with like a new coach? Well, we already got a new coach, but just a young team to allow him to have control of the situation. Let Ja go to somewhere where they will love him. Imagine Ja hitting the gritty, lighting the beam after a win. Just the vibes will be better for him. But I think it's time for him to just go. You know, we've seen him do some great things in Memphis, but since the whole gun incident, I just don't know if him and the organization are vibing with each other.
Really quickly too. Also, go ahead.
Well, look, I just want to ask, what exactly is Ja's value at this point? Like we mentioned, the struggles he's had the last couple of years just on the floor. We're not even talking about off the court stuff, and this come as a result of this new coach that they have in there, right? Isalo, I think is how you say his name. And so, if you trade Ja, what are you getting for him? Is it even worth trying to move him at this point, based on what you're getting back? And I question that because if you're trading him, you're essentially signaling a rebuild. So you want to at least get some picks back because you're going to be starting from ground zero. You already got rid of Bane. JJJ is the last kind of all-star caliber player you have left there. And if we're starting a rebuild where we could be bad for about 5 years, and that's because we traded our all-star guard in favor of a coach who hasn't really done anything, this coach better be Phil Jackson, man. He better figure it out real soon. You know what I mean? Because I just think we'll look back one day and be like, man, you remember that time we traded Ja Morant? He went somewhere else, made 5 more All-Star teams, and all we got out of it was, a second-round pick.
To
I
that
mean, but if
point,
the guy's not happy, like, what are you holding him on for him? Like, we get it. Ja is must see TV, and he's been able to get this team in the playoffs. But to me, it's like there's a history. Now he's on a new coach. There was some tension towards the end of the year. I don't like how the offense is. You bring in drama to the new year. We're not even a whole month in, and he's already getting suspended.
yeah,
So to me, it's like, who's going to step up and challenge him as the leader in the locker room? You already lost Bane in the offseason. You have guys in there who could play a leadership role, but it could just be looked at as Josh's team. So nobody's trying to step on his toes. So at that point, like, do you continue to run the organization or at least the team with him, with friction with the coach? Or it's like, hey, we brought this coach on. We like what he does. Let's try to get this guy at least somewhere where he can play his game and we can possibly get something from him, knowing that he may have value because he's still so young.
to that point, I think both of your guys' points. He's shooting a career low 40.6% from the floor. His value has never been lower than it is now. I'm convinced about that. So if you're Memphis, you've invested in this guy several years. It's going to be a tough pill to swallow to just ship him anywhere. I think they're probably going to hold out for the highest value. They'll probably, if they do ship him, unless they see an offer that blows him away, I think this would go closer to the deadline. But the problem is, man, that Grizzlies team is still really quite young, and they have a lot of like kind of nice, promising players between Jalen Wells, Gigi Jackson, Cedric Howard, the rookie. He's been playing really well. Having a sort of toxic environment, especially a toxic sort of leader, someone who's kind of like when the vibes are just down, that weighs on players, especially young players. And I think when you have this young core, you want them to have their first few seasons in stability, and it's I think it's just a hard. They've done some good roster things. Zach Edey's another young player. They've done some nice roster moves. I think they need to just reset and basically be like, this is our new culture moving forward. And unfortunately, whether the value is good or not, I think they might just have to do it.
They needed Andre Iguodala to stick around there.
All right. Enough of these players is disgruntled and need to get moved. Let's have some fun with this one. What do we think will happen first? The Thunder lose a game, or the Nets or Pelicans win a game?
Man, I'm gonna go with the Thunder losing a game. They've been really nice to start the season. They're the only team that's 7-0, but Jalen Williams is still out. Chet's been banged up. They have some injuries. I could see, on the second leg of a back to back or something, they're tired. They're one of these teams just steals a win, because man, I look at the Pelicans are a team that doesn't make sense to me. Like I feel like they have some talent, and maybe it's not like the most cohesive or like it doesn't make the most sense in terms of roster construction, But there are guys on that team that you look at them, you're like, oh yeah, they know ball, they can hoop and everything. The Nets, man, I picked them at the start of the season to win 16 games. I think that was too high, honestly. Like they're just so young, they're a mess. They like I don't even know, man. It's all. I'll let y'all talk about that because it's just it is ugly out there.
No, I think you're right. If I'm ranking these by least likely to happen, I'm going with the Nets win first. Like, I think that's the least likely to happen of these three first. I just think they're a mess, no structure. Their easiest upcoming game is the Pacers, which the Pacers are banged up, so maybe that's an opportunity, but that's also a road game for the Nets, so we'll see about that. Then I'm going to Pelicans. I think that's the next least likely to happen for them to get a win. They have the Hornets coming up at home. We're recording this on a Tuesday. Maybe that game happens by the time people see this, but it gets tough after that Hornets game, man. 3 straight on the road, so I don't know. I guess that leaves the Thunder losing a game as the most likely to happen next. I think the Thunder are amazing. You're not going to go 82-0, right? You're going to lose some games. You're going to even lose some games that you're not supposed to lose. So that's probably the most likely to happen right now. They got a 4-game road trip coming up. That's tough for the Thunder. They got a couple back-to-backs in that stretch. So I'll go with OKC.
Yeah, I don't have no hope for New York. That's why I'm gonna say the Nets will win, and I'm guaranteeing a win on Wednesday versus the Pacers. Us three could probably be playing for the Pacers right now with the injuries they have. It ain't got nothing to do with the Pelicans. They are terrible. Okay, they got Charlotte. Could they beat Charlotte? Sure. They probably could have won a lot of games they played so far, but they won't. They're bad. And when it comes to the Thunder, they're just not going to lose, man. This team is so good, and they're winning close games with players being out already. J. Will's been out. Chet's back is hurting. But they're a championship team, all right? We saw versus the Rockets where, like, they just have players who come off the bench and make plays and step up. And Shea going to get 30 free throw attempts to have 48 and about 12. So unless you're stopping that, I don't see the Thunder losing before the Pelicans at least get a win. But I'm calling my shot with the Nets versus the Indiana Pacers. They don't have to play at home. You know, New York might be a little live after this, Tuesday with the election. So they may come in hot and they may beat a Indiana team that's hurt. So I'm gonna say the Nets will win the game first before the other two things happen. Am I crazy? Yes.
Would you put money on that?
Hey, come on, man. Look, I ain't out here. I ain't gonna make no bets, man. Look, I like my money. I need to feed my dog. I ain't making no bets out here.